Welcome to PHP Podcast. I'm Mike.
And this is Orlando, and we're here for another Monday mini-sode.
Yeah, Monday minis are where we get an opportunity to kind of dive down deep but shallow. That's a terrible thing. Usually our podcast on Wednesdays.
Deep but shallow? What's that mean?
I don't know what I'm talking about. That was terrible. Anyways, we tend to spend about an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and so on our Wednesday episodes, going into a lot of different topics and really kind of discussing many things. And on our Monday minis, we're really focused on one thing. So we kind of are able to get a lot done in a short amount of time. So about 10 minutes or so, we're going to be focusing on one topic. And today we're talking about something that's really, really crucial, but a lot of new resellers don't know that they should be doing this. And that is sharing that you are a reseller. And we're not just saying like sharing with your friends and sharing with your family. It's not like you got to, come out and say like, hey, guess what? I'm a reseller. It's not like that. But
hey, everybody, I got a big announcement.
I'm a reseller. I've sold something on eBay. But what we're saying is you need to, when you're in reselling situations, you're negotiating at a garage sale, you're going to thrift stores and you're trying to make connections. A lot of times, especially new resellers, even resellers who've been doing it for a long time, have this aversion. And they think if somebody knows that I'm going to resell this item and I'm not going to like buy it to keep for myself, they're not going to want to sell it to me, or they're not going to give me a good deal. But we want to talk about the reasons why it's actually a very good idea to share that you are, in fact, a reseller.
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, but it is the opposite effect. When you share a reseller, it actually opens more doors. And one of the ways that it opens, sounds like I said more doors, but more doors.
More door.
It opens up more doors. Is the first one is possibly free inventory. And, I just shared this on the previous podcast. But, you might work a 9 to 5 somewhere, right? You're doing this part time. And, Mike will attest to this when we talked to some of the podcasts. Like, I was an administrator, but people also knew that I went to garage sales and I sold on eBay. And, I enjoyed talking about it. And it was great because I would have people all the time say, hey, by the way, my aunt, has all this stuff in the attic. She kind of wants to get rid of it. Do you want to just come by and see what we have? And instantly I would have free inventory, right? Or, I'll never forget one time I went to a garage sale, and at that time I was a teacher, I was an administrator, but a parent had said, hey, you're so-and-so, and I know you resell. I got all this stuff, let me just give it to you. You don't even have to buy it from me. And I was like, wow, like this is amazing. And it gets a little awkward at times. Yeah. But there's so many opportunities for free inventory. When people around you, they don't want to hassle. They don't want to list on eBay. They don't want to have to put stuff on OfferUp, but they know you're a reseller. So they'll just contact you and go, hey, here's some stuff. Before I go to the thrift store and donate it, why don't you look through this stuff? And you never know, you'll come across some free inventory.
Yeah, you'll definitely get some free inventory potentially from friends and family. So that is one way of doing it. And it's not out of the question that even at like Orlando said, garage sales and things like that, that it opens up the door. Because again, people, if they get to know you as a person, and if you listen to our previous podcast, we have a lot on negotiations and garage sale tips. They see you as a person and they realize, hey, you're probably not just like big corporation who's trying to make millions of dollars, but you're a person who's trying to feed the kids that maybe you have with you at the garage sales. Like, hey, I resell, like this is how we pay for things. Then sometimes again, they might be willing to pull things out of their garage and, hey, I've got this stuff, and they'll either offer you a good deal or again, say, hey, I was going to donate this stuff anyways. Is any of this something you're worthwhile to you? So you can, a lot of doors open up. And the next thing that opens up, and usually this is going to be with, again, friends and family or coworkers on this one, but it's free shipping supply, especially if you're new, you're just starting out. If you are at you're at work, your friends and family, I can't tell you how many times, boxes and bubble wrap and things that people say for me came in clutch when it was like, I don't know how I'm going to ship this item. Oh, here's this box that so-and-so gave me. It's the perfect size. And a lot of times it can feel awkward to ask, but I remember my first year working at the school that I work at currently, I just asked the office lady. They get lots of packages that come in. They're constantly got boxes they're trying to like throw out, and they're having the janitor throw out boxes and throw out bubble, the big bubble pillows. And so I just said like, hey, if you get boxes that are like good size like this, if you just save them in here, I'll come by and pick them up. Just let me know when they're here. Send me an email, and you won't have to worry about taking them out. Oh, really? Yeah, I resell. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And yeah, I'd get emails all the time. Hey, we have a whole bag full of bubble pillows for you. because they're just going to throw them away anyways. I'm just taking one step away from them having to do that. And people like helping out. People like, knowing that they're doing things, and just having people that will reach out every once in a while and say like, hey, I've been, saving a whole bunch of stuff for you. Please come by and pick it up. And if you've been reselling for a long time, maybe it's not worth it to you because, for you buy your bubble in bulk. You buy it at AmericanBubbleBoy.com or using our promo code link below. Or you buy your boxes on eBay just because you're trying to be standardized and have all. But man, I can't tell you how many times, even to this day, that I'm pulling out boxes and I'm like, sweet, I'm glad I had this random box that someone gave me or that I saved from Amazon.
Yeah, agreed. And again, when I was a teacher, Mike's talked about this on the podcast, how I'd always have boxes that teachers would leave by my office when I was an administrator. It was great. And no promo code for American Bubble Boy. Just go to the link.
All right. Use the link below.
Okay. All right. Hey, so also sharing that your reseller gives you more context for inventory. And what I mean by this is, you might be at a garage sale. Like, for example, this last one I went to, somebody had a bunch of vintage Padre stuff. And, I said, hey, I'm interested in this, in vintage toys and all this. Here's my card. And what's happened before when I've done that, they may not have the inventory, but they may know maybe another person in the neighborhood or another friend or so on that has that stuff. And then that person will contact me and go, hey, by the way, somebody sent me your card. I hope it's okay. I found out that, you're a reseller and you're looking for these goods. I have some of this. Do you want to stop by? And that has happened so many times, right? So indirectly, my information gets passed around. And I would say there was a point, it's kind of slowed down a little bit, but there was a point I was getting a call at least a couple times a month, just from some random person I had never met who's connected to somebody I left my business card with that said I was a reseller, and I was able to make some amazing deals. So you never know the networking opportunity that's going to come through by sharing that you're a reseller.
Yeah, no, that's great. And then a lot of times, here's where the fear comes in. Like when you're at a garage sale, like you think, hey, if this person thinks that I'm not going to buy this special thing that's important to them and I'm going to keep it myself and put it on my wall and cherish it forever, that they're not going to sell it to me because I'm just a nasty, terrible, awful reseller who's going to just take tons of profit. Occasionally I've had people who you get that vibe from that they were hoping that a collector would love their item the way they loved it. But most of the time when you share your reseller, here's one of the ways you can get a better deal from an item. When you're dealing with a negotiation, a person may say, hey, I want, $20 for this item. And maybe that you can sell it for $35 or $40. And you kind of feel like, well, if they know I'm a reseller, I could sell for that much. And they say, well, they sell for like $30 on eBay. But then you tell them, like, you're absolutely right. I'm actually a reseller. I'm hoping to sell this on eBay. Here's the problem. If I buy it for $20, by the time I pay for shipping and the fees, I'm only going to make like $5 or $6 on this item. It's just not going to be worth it to me. I'm hoping to bundle a whole bunch of items here and buy a lot of things from you. I'm honestly going to need to be able to get this for quite a bit lower than that, or I'm not going to make a profit. And people are going to realize, because once you start to explain too, by the time I take pictures, by the time I clean it up, by the time I list it,
you got to read the room
by the time I ship it. Yeah. So when you start to explain the process, because a lot of people say, well, I could just sell it on eBay. Sometimes like, yeah, sure. Absolutely. You can sell it on eBay. Have you sold something on eBay before? But so make sure you list it and start explaining some of the process to them, and their mind are going to be like, whoa, wait, there's a lot of work. Yeah, sure. I'll sell it for a little bit less. So a lot of times people are going to do that. And again, once you say you're a reseller, I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, well, hold on, I got some more stuff. Because especially at garage sales, typically people are motivated to move items. And so when they hear that you're somebody who's not just buying, because some people will come to garage sales and buy one pan or one dish. They're like, oh, this is sweet. I can put this in my house. They're thinking you're a person who might be willing to buy a bunch of stuff from them. Mm-hmm. And so they're a lot of times excited to see you. Now, if you're being rude and you're just trying to get items for free, basically, and demanding that they give it to you, that's not going to work. But letting them know you're a reseller has never actually hurt me.
Yeah, agreed. And so I just want to add that to close this out here is that allows you for continued networking with those individuals, right? Because sometimes you might go to a garage sale or you'll go to do a local deal and you just might buy that one item and you never bring up your reseller. And then you'll never know what else. But if you somehow go, oh, this is really cool. Hey, I'm a reseller. they might go, you know what? I don't know about right now if there's anything I want to offload, but maybe, you know, in the near future, if I come across any other things I want to, you know, get rid of, I'll give you a call. And so you have that continued relationship. And so, for example, right now I have somebody I've bought stuff from 3 times over the last 2 years. You know, the first time I was like, I'm a reseller and I bought a lot. And then they said, hey, I'm reselling again. They'll contact me, and they contacted me again. And then they contacted me a 3rd time. And I've made a ton of money off of those items. So you never know the possibilities that will open up. 99% of the time, sharing you're a reseller is a great thing. So make sure you do that. Don't be shy about it. You know, obviously read the room, you know, understand, you know, what is appropriate to say, what is not appropriate to say when you're sharing. But obviously it's going to work to your advantage. And with that being said, make sure to be real,
Be relevant,
and be reselling leads.
Peace.